Hi friends, welcome to this next video number 3. I feel honored that you are here again to listen to my rambles. And this time what we will be rambling about is like the value of being an outsider, or you could also call it a pariah, an alien, a misfit, like anything that describes the general feeling of not fitting in. And why do I want to talk about this topic? Well, that's because for me, especially as a child and as a teenager, this was a huge issue. I've always felt like an outsider. And that really, really messed with me. So I wish there would have been someone to talk about this. Talk about why did I feel that way, and how could I turn that very negative feeling into something positive even. And yeah, I think that would have really helped me. So here I am later in life providing that, maybe for you that also needs to hear it. So we're talking about being an outsider. But being an outsider of what? Maybe you might be wondering. I think the best way to explain it would be to say feeling like an outsider of society. But what is society? Well, that's a bit complicated, but let me try to explain it a little bit to you. I think we often feel like society is the only thing out there, but that's not really true. Actually, it's like a really specific thing. It's like a structure, a specific structure to make a group of people work together in a system with specific rules, specific values. Very based on a structure to make that work. And back in the days, I guess you could have said there were a lot of different societies or different cultures. There's a bit of overlap between culture and society, but I'm going to use the word society for now. But now with globalism getting popular, it's kind of like every person on this earth is forced into one specific society with specific values, specific rules, and a specific system. Also, for example, the education system. That's for me a good example of how society created a system to educate children. And that's a very specific system. And it basically relies on the principle that every child learns in about the same way. The thing is, that makes zero sense because every person is different, obviously. And different people have different talents, different people have different ways of learning things. Yet, within the education system, every child is made to learn in about the same way. I mean, you have different schools, and sometimes they can do a little bit of variation on how they approach teaching children. But at the end of the day, they still have to comply to specific rules of the government, etc. So, yeah. So imagine you are a child that learns differently, that has different talents that are not valued by the system. I was that child. Maybe you were too. And because my way of learning was not valued, I felt not valuable at all. It was really bad for me. So that's a concrete example of how I felt like an outsider. So let's dive a bit more into what being an outsider means. Because a Facebook friend of mine, he posted something quite recently about that old souls, they feel so like weird about everything that's happening in this generation, like everybody around them is a clown. And by the way, I would associate the word old soul with being an outsider as well. Maybe it's an assumption of mine, but I do suspect that most people that feel like an outsider, they would also identify themselves with the word old soul. I definitely do. And so he wrote a post about old souls, which also reminded me of this topic of being an outsider. And how I reacted to that post, I will read to you. Because that's basically also the essence of this video. But then, like, a really small summary. Yes, I also feel that feeling of absurdity. I don't know if it's just this generation. Maybe the old souls will always be there to look at the world like, what the fuck is happening here? To move things forward. Yeah. That's what I think about outsiders. Like, we're looking at what's going on in the status quo in society, and we're like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't make sense. This is not working. I think we are able to do that because we are an outsider. Like, if you look at if you look like in general everyday examples, if you have a person from outside observing a situation, they can like notice a lot more about a situation than people who are actually in it. So sometimes they would hire even a person to look at a situation from the outside, and that person can provide a lot of valuable observations and information to the situation. So it's the same with people that are outsiders to society. Maybe like you. Maybe. Definitely like me. That we are here to look at the world and be like, what the hell is going on here? This is not good. And the sad thing is that often we are very busy with conforming to the status quo. Also, the people who are outsiders, because we want to belong so badly. And the feeling of loneliness is definitely not something that is nice to experience. Because being an outsider is lonely. Definitely. So, to belong to other people, we often abandon our personal feeling of what seems right, of like what is important to us, because these things that are happening, like maybe we don't feel good about them, that don't make sense to us. And I think we are really here to provide that fresh input to the world, to be like, hello guys, this is not working, listen to me, here's why. And then we can move things forward. If there weren't any outsiders in this world, then humanity would just be stuck in the same thing forever, in their status quo, and I think it would be very destructive, very imbalanced. So outsiders are very, very essential to making all of this work. So I think outsiders are here on this planet to look at the world from a fresh perspective, point out what isn't working, and maybe do something about it, or like inform the right people so they can do something about it. Just like I just did about education. I told you, like, this is not working and this is why. And maybe I will do something about it. Maybe I will help change that system, or at least people that watch my video, they will become aware of that the system is not working, and they will do something about it. So that's already a very concrete example of like what you can do as an outsider. Without outsiders, the world would be stuck in the status quo forever. Outsiders are essential to move humanity forward. Yeah, that was it for this video. That's basically what I want to say. Thank you for watching. And I would love to hear what you think about this topic in the comments. And I would love it if you would subscribe and like, because especially in this early stage, like every like and subscribe is a big deal to me. Thank you for watching, and I will post every 2 weeks. That's the plan. So see you in the next video, hopefully. Have a good day.